In this lecture, I am going to discuss about composition and function of blood. So, blood it is a liquid connective tissue, and it contains the plasma and blood cells. About 55% plasma is present in the blood, while blood cells constitute total 45%. It includes red blood cell, platelets, and white blood cells. Normal adult blood volume is about 5 liter, which constitute 8 to 10% of total body weight. The blood is slightly alkaline, which has a pH 7.4. The color of blood is ranges from brighter red to dark red. Bright red is due to the oxygenated blood, and the dark red color is obtained due to the deoxygenated blood. Now we will discuss one by one. Number one, plasma. So plasma, it is a liquid portion of blood. It constitutes 55% of the blood. It means that out of the 5 liter of blood, 3.5 liters are plasma. It is somewhat pale yellow in color. It contains 90% water and remaining 10% of form of organic and inorganic substances. This includes organic substances 7 to 8%, such as plasma protein, albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. Amino acid consist of essential and non-essential amino acid. Carbohydrate, that is glucose. Fats are triglycerides, cholesterol, phospholipids. Internal secretion is hormone. Plasma also contain the different types of enzymes and the non-protein nitrogenous substances, for example, ammonia, creatinine, xanthine, hypoxanthine, urea, uric acid. It also contain antibodies. Now, the plasma also contain inorganic substances like sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, bicarbonate, chloride ion, phosphate, iodide, iron, and copper. About 90 to 93% of water is present in the plasma, and the gases includes oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. The form elements of blood are red blood cells, platelets, and white blood cells. Overall, 45% of these form elements are present in the blood. We will discuss one by one. Number one, red blood cells. Red blood cells are also called as erythrocytes. Okay, they are the non-nucleated cells. The erythrocytes of birds, amphibia, reptiles, fish, and camels are the oval shape, and they contain the nucleus. While the man and other mammals have a disc shape and biconcave dumbbell shape RBC, which is non-nucleated. Cytoplasm of RBC is rich in hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is an iron-containing biomolecule that can bind oxygen and is responsible for the red color of RBC due to the presence of iron group. A single RBC contains approximately 270 million hemoglobin molecule. So the RBC count ranges between 4 to 5 millions per cubic millimeter. Adult male has a 5 million per cubic millimeter of blood, while adult female has a 4.5 million per cubic of blood. Infants count is somewhat larger as compared to the adult male and female. It is 6.7 millions per cubic and fetus count is 7.8 millions. Polycythemia is a condition when the red blood cell count is increases than the normal count, and the anemia, it is a marked reduction in the red blood cell count. So next is the erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis, it is a process by which development and the maturation of erythrocytes or RBC takes place. It lasts about 7 days, and it required erythropoietin hormone, which is produced by the kidney, iron, vitamin B12, and folate. The organ where RBC are produced during the prenatal life, RBC are produced in a liver, spleen, lymphoid organ, and in an adult, it is produced in the red bone marrow. The overall lifespan of RBC, it is a 120 days. After 120 days, they are destroyed in the spleen, and therefore spleen is called as a graveyard of RBC. Let's see the function of RBC. Number one, it is help in a respiratory or respiration, for example, it transports oxygen from lungs to the tissue, and it also transports CO2 from tissue to the lungs. The RBC cytoplasm contain the ample amount of hemoglobin. That hemoglobin acts as a buffer and takes part in the maintenance of the acid-base balance. The RBC contain the blood group antigens which help in the determination of the blood group in a blood transfusion. The RBC membrane contains the A and B antigen and also the Rh factor which help in a blood group determination. Now next is a white blood cell or leukocytes. These are a colorless cells and they are nucleated form element of blood. They play a very important role in a defense mechanism of the blood. Less than the 1% of the blood cell. Total WBC count varies from 4,000 to 11,000 per cubic mm of blood. Variation in the WBC count, leukopenia means the total WBC count if decreases, then that phenomena is called as a leukopenia. If there is an increase in a eosinophil, then this is called as eosinophilia. Leukemia, it is a condition which occurs due to the malignancy. It is associated with the abnormal and uncontrolled increase in a total WBC count. WBC are of two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. If the granules present in the cytoplasm, then that WBC called as granulocytes, and if the granules are absent in the WBC, then that WBC called as agranulocytes. There are three types of granulocytes. Number one, neutrophil. Number second, eosinophil, and number third is a basophil. And agranulocytes are monocytes and the lymphocytes. Total lymphocytes constitute 20 to 25%, while monocytes are 3 to 8%. Neutrophils have a ample amount; they are about 60 to 70%, and eosinophil is 2 to 4%, while basophils are 0.5 to 1%. Diapedesis, it is a movement which, unlike the RBC that are confined to the bloodstream, WBC can leave the capillaries and enters the loose connective and lymphoid tissue. So this movement from capillaries to the loose connective tissue or lymphoid tissue called as diapedesis. Now let's see their function. So the neutrophils are the having the multilobe nucleus, and they are help in a bacterial and fungal infection. These are the most common first responders to the microbial infection. Eosinophil has bilobe nucleus, and they help in a parasitic infection and allergic reaction. Basophil contain the bi or trilobe nucleus. They play a role in allergic and antigen response. Lymphocytes and monocytes are the agranulocytes. So lymphocytes includes the B cells, CD4 helper T cells, CD8 cells, cytotoxic T cells, which operate primarily in the lymphatic system. Monocytes has a kidney-shaped nucleus, and they are the help in the phagocytosis of pathogen. Presentation of the antigen to the T cell. Eventually, they become a tissue macrophages, which remove the dead cells, debris, and attack the microorganism. Now, third form elements is the platelets. So, platelets are also called as thrombocytes, are a small colorless cell fragments in our body. They are the fragments, tiny fragments of the thrombocyte cell. Their shape are as they are the fragments, their shape is vary. They are spherical, they are rod shaped, dumbbell shaped, comma, cigar, or any other unusual shape. They don't have a nucleus because these are the simple fragments of the thrombocyte cell. Platelets count varies from 2.5 lakh to 4.5 lakhs per cubic mm of blood. Their average size is 2.5 micrometer, but bigger forms is about 4 to 5 micrometer are also seen. Lifespan is 8 to 11 days, and they are destroyed in the spleen and other reticuloendothelial cells. The decrease in the number of platelets called as thrombocytopenia, and increase in the number of platelets called as thrombocytosis. Functions played by the platelets are: number one, they play a role in a blood clotting. They also help in the clot retraction. They play a role in the prevention of the blood loss and also help in the repair of the ruptured blood vessels. They play a role in the defense of the mechanism as the platelets kill the foreign bodies by the process of phagocytosis. So this is all about the form elements of the blood. Now next we will see about the functions played by the blood. Number one, first function is the nutrient function. So nutritive substances like glucose, amino acid, lipids and vitamins derived from the digested food are absorbed from gastrointestinal tract and carried by blood to the different parts to the body for a growth and for production of the energy. Second function is the respiratory function. The transport of respiratory gases takes place through the blood. The O2 is carried from lungs to the different tissue and CO2 is carried from tissue to the lungs. They play the excretory function also. The waste product formed during the various metabolic reaction in the tissue are removed by blood and carried to the excretory organ like kidney, skin, liver, etc. They transport the hormones and enzymes. The hormones and the sum of the enzymes are carried by the blood to the different parts of the body from the source of secretion. Next function is regulation of the water balance. Blood also regulate the water balance of the body. They also regulate the acid-base balance because the plasma protein and hemoglobin act as a buffer and help in the regulation of the acid-base balance. Regulation of the body temperature. Because of the high specific heat of blood, it is responsible for maintaining the thermoregulatory mechanism in the body, that is balance between the heat loss and the heat gain. Next function is a storage function. Blood serves as a source of water, protein, glucose, sodium and potassium. These substances are taken from blood during conditions like starvation, fluid loss, electrolyte loss, etc. And last function is the defensive function. Blood play a very important role in the defense of the body. The white blood cells are responsible for the defense mechanism of the body. So this is all about the blood and its different components. Thank you for watching.